On this episode of the podcast, we take a look at the movie Long Shot, written by Dan Sterling and Liz Hannah, directed by Jonathan Levine, starring Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen. Welcome to He Said, She Said movie reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we saw Long Shot. April gives this movie 3.5 stars, and I give it 4. We'll tell you all about it right after these two trailers.
The first trailer we saw was Blinded by the Light, set in 1987. It's all about, in Britain, it's a teenager, how he learns to live his life and kind of understand his family. He finds his own voice through the music of Bruce Springsteen. The release date is August 14th. And the greatest, most fun thing about this is it's going to be brought to us by the creators of Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah, this movie's the same kind of thing like Bend It by Beckham. It's about an Indian family and an Indian teenage boy, so it looks really good.
Okay, second trailer was Anna. Beneath Anna's striking beauty lies a secret that will unleash her strength and skill to become one of the world's most feared government assassins. Release date, June 21st, and it's with Helen Mirren.
So Long Shot, funny movie. It's about when Fred Filarski, played by Seth Rogen, reunites with his first crush, one of the most influential women in the world, Charlotte Field, played by Charlize Theron. He charms her, and as she prepares to make a run for the presidency. This is directed by Jonathan Levine, who brought us Snatched and Warm Bodies and 50-50, and written by Dan Sterling and Liz Hannah.
And Liz Hannah, of course, is known for The Post.
It's got a great cast: Charlize Theron, Seth Rogen, Diane, Raphael, and one of my favorites, Andy Serkis. Y'all know him as Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Or Cornelius from Planet of the Apes.
All right, the runtime was 125 minutes. It was rated R for strong sexual content, language throughout, and some drug use, and some raunchiness.
Yeah, this is definitely an R-rated movie, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed this movie. I laughed out loud so many times. I'm just going to kind of kick it off by talking about the chemistry of the top two characters. It was magic. I love the way they developed the characters, the story, the flashbacks in the movie. It was just really fun. Really fun.
This is a great adult date movie. It's really fun. It's one of those classic boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl type of movies. I thought the acting was great. As April said, the chemistry between Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen, you really felt it in this movie. One of the interesting things for me about this is Seth Rogen wasn't really involved in this. He didn't write it, or he was listed as one of the producers, but he wasn't really involved with the production and making of this movie. So Seth was allowed to be Seth and do what Seth does best.
Right, which is hilarious, always. I just also appreciated the fact that whenever there's a movie with characters that are just different, they have a different vision, they have a louder voice or a softer voice. I just felt like this was impeccably done.
Yeah, it was great writing. I really enjoyed it. There is some very raunchy humor in this.
Oh gosh, yes.
It's this movie along the lines of what was the one with Katherine Heigl where with Seth Rogen where she's having
Knocked Up.
Knocked Up. It had a similar vibe and feel to it. Different story, of course, but it had that same kind of feel. It's a Seth Rogen movie. Seth Rogen plays Seth Rogen in everything he does. He's not a wide-ranged actor, but you know what you're getting with Seth, and it was funny. It was classic Seth.
And I wanted to say, too, when we saw this movie, which the very first chance to screen it, we took it, is that everyone around us was absolutely howling with laughter.
Oh, the other thing, too, about one of the other writers, Dan Sterling, he's known for South Park, King of the Hill, The Office, and he also worked with Seth Rogen in The Interview. That's that movie with Seth Rogen where he goes to interview Kim Jong-un that never made it into the theaters because everyone was afraid of what North Korea would do. So, but, so you know what kind of movie you're getting if you saw The Interview.
Absolutely. I thought the special effects, I know you thought the attack scene was believable. What else do you want to say on that?
Yeah, April has a problem. There's this one scene in the movie where they're in the Philippines and there's an insurrection and there's some gunfights and and you see a little bit of this in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. April had a little bit of problem with that scene for some reason, but I thought it fit into the movie just fine.
But the pace, I thought for a 2-hour movie, I thought it was fine. I love the dialogue. The whole scene when she's talking to the current president. I mean, there's just a lot of dialogue. Well written. It was funny. But the pace, I thought that was pretty great. For a 2-hour movie to feel like it wasn't a 2-hour movie. Yeah,
one of the things, too, this was a movie that touched on the political environment of today, and they didn't really put it in your face, but they did bring up some interesting things going on in politics right now. I thought that was kind of cool, the way they did that. Nothing spectacular with the score, nothing spectacular with the cinematography. Production design was fine. Nothing really stood out in those arenas. But like I said, the acting was great. The chemistry was great.
And I thought the elements of the love story were fantastic. I thought it was believable. I really appreciate how it wasn't over the top, but it also wasn't, not nonchalant. I thought it was just right.
Well, the other thing, too, is it's one of these things where you've got two people from different classes, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's just neat the way they brought them together.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it wasn't unbelievable as in some of these movies where you have, people from two different sides of the tracks who would never meet and never get together and they end up together. This movie, they did it well.
They did. And we really enjoyed it. It's just, and I do appreciate the raunchy humor. It was just, again, we laughed during the movie. We talked about it after. And we've steered many, many people to see this movie.
So yeah, definitely go see this in the theater if you want to take your gal out on a date night.
Oh, y'all, enjoy the movies. You're going into such a movie-filled summer, so kick it off and go see this movie.
All right, so if you haven't already done so, please go out to hesaidshesAidmovies.com/subscribe and subscribe to the podcast. It's absolutely free to do.
And we'll see you at the movies. If you're anywhere near Atlanta, make sure you get to Sandy Springs, Georgia. Our official sponsor is, of course, the Springs Cinema and Tap House. Can't beat the heated seats, luxury recliners, and a bar that is amazing. So come on out.
We really appreciate it, and thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you at the movies.
See you at the movies.